Most people moving to Sherwood Park get one decision wrong. It's not the house. Sherwood Park, Alberta. Bigger than most Canadian cities, and technically not one. And that's not even the strangest thing about moving here. I'm going to give you the 2026 numbers. What a house actually costs right now. What your property taxes just did. What the schools look like this September. And the one thing that decides whether you should be shopping on the east side of this community or the west. Because two identical homes here can be 20 minutes apart on your morning commute. I'm Matthew Hopp with the Hopp FNAF real estate team at eXp Realty. We sell homes in Sherwood Park and Strathcona County. That's it. That's the whole territory. And I've watched people move here from Ontario, from BC, from all over Alberta. The ones who are happy 2 years later almost always got the same thing right at the start. I'm saving that for the end. Number 7, stick around, because it's the piece that changes where you should be looking, not just what you should be buying. Let's start with the thing nobody explains properly. Here's the confusing part. Sherwood Park is a hamlet, officially. It's the urban service area of Strathcona County, and it has never been incorporated as a city. As of the county's last municipal census, it had 75,575 people. That's more than Grande Prairie, more than Airdrie was not that long ago. It would slot in as roughly Alberta's 6th largest city, if it were a city. Strathcona County as a whole sits around 107,000 people, and about 3/4 of them live in Sherwood Park itself. The rest are spread across 1,200 square kilometers of farmland, acreages, and hamlets like Ardrossan and Josephburg. So who runs it? Strathcona County Council. 1 mayor, 8 councillors, covering the urban and the rural side together. Rod Frank was re-elected mayor in October 2025, his 3rd term. Here's the catch. You don't get a Sherwood Park Council. You get a county council, and it's balancing your sidewalk against a rural road grader 40 kilometers away. Most of the time that works out fine. But when you're at a public hearing about a development 3 blocks from your house, you're sharing the room with people whose priorities are nothing like yours. Second catch, smaller but real. Some online forms and delivery systems don't recognize Sherwood Park as a city. You'll be typing Strathcona County more than you expect. Sherwood Park sits directly east of Edmonton, not near it, against it. Anthony Henday Drive, Highway 216 is the line. West of the Henday, you've got Refinery Row, Imperial Oil Strathcona Refinery, and the rest of Canada's largest hydrocarbon processing cluster. East of it, that's the residential community. Same urban service area on paper, completely different world. Your main arteries are Baseline Road running east-west, Y Road south of that, Sherwood Drive and Broadmoor Boulevard running north-south. Learn those 4 and you can navigate the whole place. The pitch you'll hear is 20 minutes to downtown Edmonton. From the west side, off-peak, that's honest. From the far east side at 7:40 on a Tuesday in February, it is not. Baseline backs up. The Sherwood Park Freeway backs up. Add snow and you're looking at a very different number. Here's the catch, and it's the one people underestimate, the airport. Edmonton International is on the far south side, past Leduc. From Sherwood Park, you're crossing the entire metro area. Budget real time for that, especially in winter. Transit is better than most suburbs get. Strathcona County Transit runs Alberta's first double-decker fleet, commuter routes into downtown and the university, and on-demand service booked through an app. As of June 2026, they extended peak hour on demand into the newest neighborhoods, Cambrian and Hearthstone. But that's weekdays only, no evenings, no weekends. If you're moving here without a car, look very carefully at your specific address before you commit. Now the number you came for. Year to date in 2026, the average sale price in Sherwood Park is sitting around $524,000. That's up about 2.9% over the same stretch of 2025. In June specifically, the average sale came in at $521,000. Homes are taking about 34 days to sell on average this year, up from 30 last year. And the ask to sell ratio is 1.003, which means the typical home is closing at essentially 100% of asking. Not over, not under, right at it. New construction is running its own track. In June, the average new build sold for just over $503,000, with builders moving inventory faster than last year. 67 days on market versus 82. Here's the catch, and it's the most important sentence in this section. Listings are up. There were 1,012 new listings in the first half of 2026, about 9% more than last year, while sales rose about 5.6%. More homes, slower absorption. That is not the 2022 market where you waived conditions and prayed. This is a market where a well-priced home in Lakeland Ridge or Emerald Hills still moves fast, and an overpriced one sits for 60 days and then cuts. If you're buying, that's leverage you didn't have 3 years ago. If you're selling, it means pricing is no longer optional. Quick one. If you want the actual neighborhood by neighborhood numbers instead of the community average, we pull that report every month. It's free. The link's in the description, and it'll save you a weekend of driving around trying to guess. Back to it. Let's talk about what leaves your account every month. For 2026, Strathcona County Council approved a 4.88% municipal tax revenue increase on a sample urban home assessed at $513,000. That's about $109 more for the year, roughly $9 a month. Tax notices went out mid-May. Payment was due June 30th. Of your total bill, about 63% is municipal, about 36% goes to the province for education, and the last 1% funds seniors housing. The county's pitch is that even after that increase, it still has one of the lowest municipal tax rates in the Edmonton metro region. That part checks out. Then there's the Alberta side. No provincial sales tax, 5% GST, and that's it. And since 2025, there's been an 8% bracket on roughly the first $61,000 of income, which cut provincial income tax for lower and middle earners by about 20%. Alberta also has the highest basic personal amount in the country, meaning you earn more before the province takes anything. For a household moving from Ontario or BC, that combination is genuinely a raise. Here's the catch. Look at the trend, not the year. 2025 was a 3.90% increase. 2026 was 4.88%. Early county projections for 2027 were floating around 5.42%. Those compound. And there's an active residents campaign in Sherwood Park pushing back on exactly this. So budget for the direction, not just today's number. If you've got kids, this is probably your real decision. You've got 3 public systems here. Elk Island Public Schools, around 17,500 students across roughly 40 schools, headquartered right on Y Road. Elk Island Catholic Schools, and Francophone programming through Conseil Scolaire Centre Nord. On top of that, French immersion is widely available, and the big high schools, Bev Facey and Salisbury Composite, run advanced placement and career and technology streams. And there's something new for 2026. Forest Grove School opens this fall, a $53 million replacement school on First Street, finished a month ahead of schedule with capacity for 1,015 students. Kindergarten through grade 6 French immersion, and grades 7 through 9 in both English and French immersion. That's a brand new building coming online right as you'd be moving in. Here's the catch, and it's a big one for buyers. New schools redraw catchment boundaries. When a building like Forest Grove opens, attendance areas shift and busing arrangements change with them. So if you're buying a specific house because of a specific school, do not take a listing's word for it. Confirm the current attendance area with the division directly before you write an offer. I've seen that go sideways. Recreation is where this community genuinely over-delivers, and it's also where most people get the names wrong. So, clearly, Millennium Place is the big recreation center. Pools, ice, fitness. Festival Place is the Performing Arts Theater on Festival Way, sitting in Broadmoor Lake Park. 2 different buildings, 2 completely different purposes. Add Emerald Hills Leisure Center, Kinsman Leisure Center, Glen Allen Recreation Complex, the Ardrossan Complex out east, and Gallery at 501 for visual art. And the big one, construction started in spring 2026 on a $65 million indoor field house at 240 Broadview Drive, between Bethel Transit Terminal and Millennium Place. Turf that splits into 4 quadrants, court space for pickleball, tennis and badminton, team rooms, the whole build. In a place where winter runs 5 months, an indoor full-size field is not a small deal. Outdoors, Broadmoor Lake Park is the center of gravity. Canada Day, the Highland Gathering in July, the Qualico patio concerts every Wednesday through summer. Push east and you're into the Beaver Hills Biosphere, Cooking Lake, Blackfoot, and Elk Island National Park, with actual free-roaming bison inside 40 minutes of your driveway. Healthcare, Strathcona Community Hospital on Emerald Drive. 24-hour emergency, 27 treatment spaces, on-site CT and lab, free parking. Here's the catch. Actually 3. 1. That field house is being paid for partly by a recreation levy on your taxes, and 2026 is the 3rd and final year of it. You're funding it. 2. The hospital is an emergency and ambulatory facility, not a full tertiary hospital. Complex care means Edmonton, and if you're having a baby, that's an Edmonton hospital. 3. Winter. Expect a genuine 5-month season. Cold snaps that push past -30 with wind chill, and about 7.5 hours of daylight around the solstice. And no, Chinooks are a southern Alberta thing. Calgary gets those. You don't. If you're weighing a specific neighborhood right now, message us the address or even just the street. We'll tell you what actually sold there in the last 90 days and what the commute really looks like. Costs nothing. Here's the one I promised you. The single biggest mistake I see is people choosing Sherwood Park, then choosing a house, and never choosing a side. Because this community is not one market, it's two, and they behave completely differently. The west and central side, Broadmoor, Glen Allen, Mills Haven, Sherwood Heights, Woodbridge Farms, mature trees, bigger lots. Bungalows from the 60s and 70s that were built when lumber was cheap and lots were wide. You're closest to Edmonton, closest to Baseline, closest to everything, and you're closest to Refinery Row, which some days you'll notice and most days you won't. The east and south side, Emerald Hills, Aspen Trails, Lakeland Ridge, Summerwood, Cambrian, Hearthstone, newer builds, newer schools, better garages, better insulation, smaller yards, higher price per square foot on average. And every single trip you take, work, hockey, airport, Costco, starts 15 to 20 minutes further back. So here's the number that decides it. How many round trips does your household make into Edmonton in a normal week? Not, do you work downtown? Round trips. 2 commuters plus a kid in a West End sports program is a very different life than 1 hybrid worker and a school 2 blocks away. Under about 5, buy east. Take the newer house, the better school proximity, the bigger garage. That drive is a rounding error. Over about 10, buy west, every single time. Those minutes compound into hundreds of hours a year, and no amount of new drywall makes that back. Count the trips before you tour a single house. That's the whole thing. So, Sherwood Park in 2026, a hamlet with the population of a city. Average sale price around $524,000, with inventory finally giving buyers room to breathe. A 4.88% tax increase on top of one of the region's lowest rates. A brand new school opening this fall and a $65 million field house going up. Real winter, real commute math, and 2 sides of town that live completely different lives. It's a good place. It's not a place you should buy blind. If you're thinking about a move here or a move within here, reach out, call, text, email, whatever's easiest. We'll walk your specific situation before you're emotionally attached to a house that's on the wrong side of town for you. And if you want the next one, we're breaking down Sherwood Park neighborhood by neighborhood, starting with the 4 that get the most questions. Subscribe and you'll catch it. See you in that one.